Hello again everyone, Gavin here at Hologram Productions. And today we're going to focus on how to make organic house, focusing on some of the techniques used by artists such as Bonobo, Christian Loeffler, a bit of Chiasmos, and some techniques which a lot of Anjunadeep artists use as well. So let's dive in and let's start working on the drums. We're going to use a lot of field recordings today, and this is from my own personal field recordings collection. Find a hit which we can turn into a kick, isolate it, put it into mono, make sure to EQ off the main lows, and let's affect the attack and decay times just to our taste. Drum bus is good for boosting and thickening, and we also want to add a tom on the offbeat, which gives it a nice swing. I consolidated them into one audio, turned the volume down, turned the transients down, and EQ'd out the highs. This will make a perfect hi-hat. Now we need some creaking sounds. You'll need to take some time chopping this up and trying to create a groove offbeat. As long as you make sure that the loop is short and it's side chained very heavily to the kick, it'll create a nice groove. I'm not going to use this whole egg shaker sample, I'm just going to splice bits out of it again on the offbeat. I'm going to try to use a wooden knock as a snare. On the MIDI line, each hit hits at a different time, they're all very slightly off grid. This is after audio processing, saturation and compression and the like. So we already have the basis for a nice groovy organic swing. Don't forget guys that all of the samples that I use in these videos are available on my Hologram Productions Bandcamp. As you can see here, the organic sample pack is already up, and you can download and use these samples to try and create your own track, ideally even better than mine. I really enjoy making these videos, and I want to carry on doing them and making sure that I tailor to everyone's individual needs, responding to all individual requests for genres sound alike. I know there's an awful lot of people out there who want me to do tutorials on a more basic level, but in order to get the support to do that kind of stuff, I'm going to continue to need people watching, adding comments, they mean a lot, and any support such as buying samples every now and then, or even personal tutorials not only encourages me to keep going, but also financially it facilitates me to be able to continue to do this. Cool, now let's move on to the pads. I'm going to use a clip from a soundtrack and blend it in. Now the key to this sampling technique is you got to dig into the sample and then move the transients around where the piano hits so that it hits on time. Make sure in the audio clip itself it's on Complex Pro, otherwise you're going to completely distort the sound when you stretch out the transients. Really nice. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the lead. Let's make a 3-note arp where the notes hit on the offbeat. Don't forget to check out my video on Arps, on how to make Arps and how to make this particular instrument. To avoid the loop being rigid, you have all the manipulatable macros which you can record automation on over a longer period of time. Now I'm feeling the track needs a little bit of bass. Triangle wave, let's keep it in unison this time because the wideness will sound too digital. This bit's kind of boring, I'm going to fast forward this section a bit. I want to create a 16 bar loop where the root note changes every 4 bars. And I ended up with this. Do you know what, I feel like we haven't added quite enough. Let's add a clap to thicken the woody snare. Boring. Let's fast forward again. And we end up with this. Some 16th notes. Let's fast forward. As it's the exact same sample hitting 8 times every second, you need to modulate every single hit, manipulating the attack, decay, and the volume. Remember, this is organic house. It has to sound organic. And altogether it sounds like this. We're most of the way there. Now we need to add some stuff. The stuff is going to be very similar to the ARP. We're going to use the operator to do this and just put in our own arpeggio over a long period of time. It's going to sound cool. Ugh, no, that's shit. Yeah, that's better. It's better as a square wave. All the trusty effects: delay, reverb, echo, and an autofilter. Let's go into the MIDI and make an awful lot of random changes to it. Up, down, left, right, all over the place. We won't hear the sound all the time, we'll just use the autofilter to sweep it in every now and then. Okay, so I think our sound palette is more or less complete. Now we need to just bang together an arrangement. I grouped the drums and added an audio rack, a slow glue, fast glue, multiband compressor. I also grouped all of the shakers and hi-hats and tried to de-es them gently, not too much. Whilst I was arranging, I decided to add another loop of congas to thicken things up. And for the stuff, I decided to automate a few sweeps. Now let's listen to the whole arrangement. If you feel I'm moving too fast through these videos and you would like the one-on-one treatment where I can answer any specific questions that you have, then you really do need to consider a one-on-one personal tutorial, because I can tailor every single need necessary for you. sounding pretty good. I'm pretty sure that I would go back to that and rejig it in the master to sound a bit softer. There are a few very, very sharp highs, but I think that it's a really, really strong basis for a track. Remember guys, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Hey, Paul! And I'll see you guys all next time.